Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from worldwide. I'm Sterling. Great to have you back on the channel. This show is being recorded for Sunday, July 3rd, 2022. As always, these shows are recorded for entertainment purposes only. So all the information I share with you comes real time through my guides, angels, extended spiritual counsel, ETs, famous people from history. So for entertainment purposes only. We always get asked how to reach me. It's very easy. Look for sterlingpsychicmedium.com. Look for the Book a Session tab. It's very easy from there. Also, just remember to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. All those things really help the channel and actually place the show in a much higher place in the landscape on YouTube so that those individuals that might benefit from the show will see it. So thanks for every support. Again, welcome to all the subscribers, all the new subscribers. Thanks for all the support on the channel. A couple quick little housekeeping things to go through here. We did have a winner of the free half-hour session with myself. We crossed over to 24,000 subscribers. Every time we cross over to a new 1,000 level, I pick a new winner of a half-hour session with myself. So the winner for the free half-hour session is Natalia Campbell out of the UK. So Natalia Campbell, congratulations. You are the winner of the free half-hour session. Just contact our offices, info@sterlingpsychicmedium.com. Let them know you're the winner, and they'll set everything up from there. If you want to enter the contest going forward, every time we reach a new 1,000 level subscribers, we select the winner from the comments in these shows. For those that are subscribers and starting off their comment with the word love, we know they want to be in the contest. And they actually use a computer app that goes through thousands of comments then for that show. This case was 1,825 unique comments, and it then selects the winner. So thanks for everybody's participation. Congratulations again to Natalia Campbell. For this show, I think we had over 500 questions, and we take questions from our community board. We put out a request every Monday for questions. Then my wife, Linda, does go through them and tries to make sure we don't repeat questions from prior shows, tries to select a unique group of questions. I think we had 60 questions for this week's show. And then we actually do post timestamps to these shows about 24 hours or so after the show is posted, so you can go back and take a look at topics that are of particular interest to you. So thanks for all our support. So we did go through 500 questions. Now, I want to cover a quick topic up front here, which I touched on last week. It has to do with the Supreme Court, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, what's going to happen to the Supreme Court going forward. And, you know, for those that watched last week's show, we did bring in JFK. He had a few comments about politics being a full contact sport and needing widespread participation. You know, I'll repeat last week that what I was told, I'm told all the time by my team, is that Biden will appoint within 18 to, I say 12 to 18 months here, you're going to see 2 additional Supreme Court justices added to the total, bringing the total from 9 to 11. And I also see that there'll be 2 Supreme Court justices replaced. And most likely that is going to be Thomas and Kavanaugh. So you'll see 4 new Supreme Court justices. They'll be in effect, if you will, through the Biden administration. So these changes are coming now. For the time being, we're going to see many challenges to a number of things, just like we saw with Roe v. Wade. Many of the things that are being circulated now are going to be challenged. Some of them are going to go through, but I don't want everybody to worry because we're going to see, think of this as a flip and a flop. So that is, you're going to see a change, and then within 12 to 18 months here, as we get down the road with a new Supreme Court, you're going to see many more amendments coming to the Constitution that will define voting rights and abortion and all the things that, you know, right now individuals are trying to interpret the Constitution literally. And of course, it was written at a time and a place in the life of this nation where there were a lot of things that were very undetermined, and society has changed. So I think even JFK alluded to the fact that we're going to see many amendments coming to the Constitution that will do things like defining abortion rights and same-sex marriage and many other things. So hold tight, make sure you participate in all the elections, know the Supreme Court makeup is going to change, know a lot of these things are going to flip and then flop back. So stay tuned, but I want to offer up a little more information, if you will, kind of around a lot of the things going on with the Supreme Court here. So hopefully that's helpful, and we can certainly cover it in future shows. No problem at all. Now I want to get into our top 60 countdown of questions derived from the 500 questions that were submitted this week. So thanks again for all the participation. The first topic is, do the Pleiadians have a message for us? You know, first I want to start off really quickly is that the Pleiadian star system is one of the closest to Earth, sometimes referred to as the Seven Sisters, and it's something like 444 light years away from Earth. So Pleiadians have been around for millions of years supporting the planet. I have a large group of Pleiadians I communicate with on a very regular basis. So I thought this question was very appropriate. So I did communicate with them, with my team this morning, and I did scribe exactly what they told me. And so I'm going to read back the message. Whoever asked this question, do the Pleiadians have a message for us? I'll read you back what was said. We want everyone to know that you have all originated from star systems, and in that sense, you're all star seeds. You have access to all the knowledge of the universe if you just listen. We have been watching the universe for millions of years and will communicate to and continue to protect Earth. We have what we refer to as a star force that monitors all nuclear activity and will intervene whenever it is necessary. We communicate with many individuals on Earth today and are currently sharing new developments in the areas of science, health, clean energy, medicine, and anti-gravity propulsion systems. We always communicate in a way that assists humankind. We communicate in the same way that your angels and guides communicate. We look forward to talking with each and every one of you and will help whenever it is necessary or required. So kind of a wonderful message from the team. I find it to be very helpful, and that they do communicate the same way that angels and guides communicate. So hopefully that's helpful. Whoever asked the question, a great question. 59 in the countdown. Were some Secret Service agents complicit in the January 6th plot? Will they be charged? Yes, this will all come out in information coming through the January 6th Commission, and there will be some Secret Service agents that will be charged. 58. Good morning, Sterling. Will the BRIC countries, that is Brazil, Russia, India, and China, succeed in their attempt to create an alternative monetary system to compete with the US dollar? Well, yes. I mean, the answer is that they're gonna have a digital or cryptocurrency system that will not compete necessarily, but it's going to be transacted in a way that a lot of other digital currencies or cryptocurrencies are going to be exchanged around the world. So you're going to see that within the next 5 to 10 years here. So there will be another type of currency that those 4 countries circulate. Yes. 57. Will Cassidy Hutchinson be safe? Yes, with extra protection from the Secret Service. So not to worry, but they'll be ramping up Secret Service protection, both visible and non-visible protection, so they'll be able to ensure safety. 56. Was Cassidy Hutchinson telling the truth when she testified that Trump grabbed the steering wheel of his driver and commanded to remove the metal detectors so deadly weapons could be welcomed? Yes, all this was completely honest, truthful testimony, and it's going to be corroborated by many individuals across the government. 55. Do you see the US-Canadian borders opening up this year for all travelers, regardless of vaccination status? No, I do see it going through cycles, but I don't see a full open border until like summer of next year. So what I mean by that, what they're telling me is that there's going to be a requirement for testing and also for some vaccination status. So we're still going to see some restricting of the border crossing until the world moves from a pandemic to an endemic, most likely around summer of next year. So look forward to seeing going through cycles, but not a full open border until that time. 54. During a meditation, I asked for the name of my guide. I then heard a possible name. Later that day I was driving, I got lost, and I saw a sign with that exact name. Was this a confirmation? Completely. This is the way that a lot of guides and angels work. So many times, if you ask a question or ask to receive a name, they'll find a way to express that to you during your daily life. Absolutely. 53. Sterling, you mentioned in the past that many of the most recent Supreme Court decisions would get overturned. Today, June 30th, President Biden said he supports changing the filibuster rules to codify Roe v. Wade. Will the Senate change filibuster rules to codify Roe, and will they be successful in doing so? So the answer is yes in the long run. You know, this filibuster question comes up all the time. My team always tells me they're not going to get rid of the filibuster, but change the threshold. So moving from something like 60 votes down to 55, something like that. That coupled with what's going on in the Supreme Court in terms of changes will help bring all this back. But I do eventually see within 12 to 18 months, Roe v. Wade being codified by a reduction in the way the filibuster is handled down to something like 55 votes. So it's all coming, yes. 52, will CRISPR technology help with menopausal weight gain? Yes, those therapies will be available in 8 years. 51, hi Sterling, there are rave reviews for the current Elvis movie, and rightfully so. In interviews, Austin Butler, who portrays him, has said that the first time he did the scene when he rocked in the pink suit in front of the screaming fans, it's as if he felt exactly what Elvis felt at that moment. And the first time he said he met Priscilla Presley, he lost it and started crying, saying in an interview that he looked at those same eyes Elvis felt in love with, and fell in love with that many years ago. Did this actor actually channel Elvis? Well, what I'm being told is not directly channeled, but he mirrored Elvis's energy. In fact, Elvis's spirit was very close to him. So it kind of mirrored it, staying very close to Elvis in his energy and spirit. And that's how he kind of felt all the sensations moving through him as he acted in the movie and then was next to Priscilla. Absolutely. 50. Several news outlets have reported that President Biden is not a fan of increasing the Supreme Court size. Also, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she would not hold a floor vote on the Democratic effort to expand the court to 13 justices. What will change to put our current overzealous judicial high court in check so it does not have the sole power to determine the law of the land, especially for issues most Americans do not agree with? Well, I think we just talked about this at the beginning of this show, but I do see the court moving to 11 justices, not 13. And I do see a big change, even with Biden and with the counts in the Senate and the House, a lot of things changing in the court configuration, the Democrats winning in the Senate and the House. Many things are going to change over the next 12 to 18 months. So stay tuned, but it's going to change. 49. Is it possible for ETs to be our guides? Growing up, I felt guilty because I never had a connection with my guardian angels. The church taught were always with us. However, I have a strong connection with ETs. Well, we all have a group of birth angels and spiritual working guides around us. But yes, many people have connection with ETs, direct connections with ETs, as I do. They will work and support you, and they do tend to align themselves with individuals where it's on their life path to kind of help communicate messages and help with the work that they have to accomplish. So I can assure you, you actually do have angels and guides around you, and it looks like you actually do have an ET around you that's helping to work with you as well. 48. On June 26, 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court held in a 5-4 decision that the 14th Amendment requires all states to grant same-sex marriages and recognize same-sex marriages granted in other states. Do you guys think this will be rescinded? Well, yes, I see it temporarily being rescinded by the Supreme Court. And as we've said here many times on this show, it's then going to be flipped back. So a little bit of a rocky road here, a little bit of a roller coaster ride on some of these issues. But we're going to see in 12 to 18 months, a lot of this turn back around. 47. Do musicians and comedians still perform in heaven? Yes, absolutely. If they choose to, these are heavenly gifts, and they absolutely perform in heaven if they want to. Okay, 46 on the countdown. Sterling, I've had some weird experiences as a child. At a friend's house, I was awakened by the closet doors moving back and forth. It stopped when I became fully awake. My friend and her sister ran into their parents' room. Then a few years later, while sleeping in a cabin with my sister, lights went on and off, and the fridge door opened and closed, making a lot of noise. We laid there with our eyes closed, too scared to open them. When it stopped and we opened our eyes, the light was on. What was it? This was a relative or a family member playing practical jokes. So I get this as one of your family members kind of following around playing practical jokes as opposed to somebody that was deceased from another family. So it's interesting, a family member that enjoyed practical jokes. That's what's going on. 45. My husband passed away in August of 2018. For sentimental reasons, I kept his handheld electronic Sudoku game device, even though it would no longer power on due to dead batteries. About a month ago, the game device began to beep deep within the drawer where I kept his mementos. I placed it on the dresser where it beeped intermittently over 3 to 4 days. My question is, was that a message from my husband or merely a technical glitch of the batteries within the device? I'm prepared to accept either answer. Yes, it was definitely your husband. Your husband felt that was the best way to get through to you, so she knew it was him. So congratulations. Strong spirits from the other side, like your departed husband, can manipulate electronic devices. Very easy for them. So that was your husband. Congratulations. 44. Who are the 7 light beings some people experience during a near-death experience? They're described as 7 feet tall, human form, but more spindly and emanating bright white light. They've been called the Ancient Ones or the Shining Ones. These are most certainly the 7 archangels. Absolutely. So many times during a near-death experience, you can experience direct connection to the archangels. And in fact, some people include 8 archangels, but certainly the 7 you're describing are the 7 archangels. 43. Hello, Sterling. Between the ages of 3 and 15, I would find rosaries, parts of rosaries, different size crucifixes you wear as a pendant on a necklace, and small medallions of saints. I've collected a small box full of these items, finding them in random places, like sidewalks, parking lots outside my family home. None belong to any of my family members. What is the meaning of this? Well, your guides and angels are trying to communicate with you. And it looks like you're on a very spiritual path, whether you know it or not, regardless of whatever career you're in, but they want you to be more or less a teacher and a healer on the planet. So your guides are trying to communicate with you in a very strong way, and your angels. 42. Will ETs reveal themselves simultaneously worldwide, or will they select a particular country or region first? We get asked this question all the time. They'll have a very well-crafted way of rolling out their exposure with world leaders and then actually working through news outlets worldwide so that people develop a comfort level. And they'll really be shape-shifting at first, so they'll be non-threatening and then move on from there. 41. Hi, I had an odd experience while up at Mount Rainier last year. I was bemoaning the fact that the glaciers had receded so far and the human involvement in climate change. But the mountain corrected me immediately and said there were other forces at work causing it too. I don't generally work with ETs or other beings like this, but this seemed to be the implication. What insights can you share on this? Yes, you receive direct communication or confirmation from ETs that they're working in that region to help that region. So you remember, ETs communicate the same way angels and guides do, as you received a very direct communication and confirmation. 40. Will there be a male birth control option, such as a medication or injection for men? Yes, in another decade, there'll be a pill form contraceptive medication for men. There will be. I'm being told it's already in pill form and being tested, but for some reason it's going to take a decade for it to get out into the public. Looks like it's all already being tested in some parts of Europe. 39. Will Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony have a significant impact? Will any Secret Service agents or others come forward to corroborate her testimony? Yes, absolutely. I think we touched on this earlier, but many individuals in government will corroborate her testimony, and she was telling the truth. And this is really going to start to create what I'm going to call a landslide in the support for 45 among the GOP, and really bring out a landslide of testimony and evidence against 45. So a wonderful job to Cassidy Hutchinson. Absolutely. 38. My grandson turned 14 today. While he was visiting, he told me he's sensing spirit around him and that he feels he's being followed. Said they made him scared last night. Who or what is he sensing? And does this mean he has gifts also? Well, yes, he's sensing his angels and guides around him. He's definitely sensitive to that in a good way. So he should work with a psychic or a medium to try to develop that skill. Find a coach that can help him develop his skills. 37. When I was a teen, I was home alone and heard someone in my sister's bedroom. I heard heavy boots walking and someone laying in her bed. I walked over and closed the closet door, and then walked over to the dresser where I could hear a jewelry box slam shut. I eventually went to investigate. There was nobody in her room. The noise didn't stop until I went back to my bedroom, then start again. I was freaked out and turned my radio up loud enough to drown out the noise out until my parents got home. Who was this and why? So why were they there? Well, this to me appears to be a family friend, a female that died tragically in an accident. So somebody's trying to come around your home environment. I think they said they were lying with your sister's bedroom. This looks like this could very well be a friend or was a friend of your sister's that died in a tragic accident. May have been a traffic accident. So I wouldn't be afraid, but they're trying to get around your sister and make themselves known. And it looks like they enjoyed being around your sister. 36, will we ever have humanoid robots like the ones we see in TV shows like Westworld? Yes, they'll be commercially available by the year 2030, and there are many being tested around the world right now in various stages of development. Okay, 35 in our countdown. AOC has said that Justices Gorsuch and Kavanaugh perjured themselves during their confirmation hearings. She feels the perjury is an impeachable offense, and if not dealt with and no consequences are imposed, future candidates will have no incentive to answer confirmation questions honestly. Will this line of thinking gain any traction, and will there be any consequences? No, I'm being told they didn't perjure themselves in a legal sense. So I guess using the strict sense of the law, they did not commit perjury. I think what they communicated was their perception of what was an ongoing precedent in the law. But I do feel that there's going to be much stricter qualifications placed on Supreme Court justices, and they're going to tighten up some of the laws that are used in the confirmation hearings. So no, don't think this is going to lead to perjury. They're not telling me it's going to, but it's a lesson in terms of everybody moving forward with how we confirm Supreme Court justices. 34. Several years ago, I woke up and standing by my bed was a blue-skinned Hindu deity, smiling at me and communicating with me telepathically, saying, "Oops, you caught me." He was a short, round male entity with blue skin and dressed in typical Hindu garments with gold jewelry and earrings, and he was very friendly. Was he a spirit guide or an avatar? Was his blue deity, is it Vishnu, the preserver, or Shiva? Was he delivering me a message? This is one of your guides sending you healing energy, and the fact that you saw means that you're very perceptive and you have good sensibility in that area to perceive guides and angels. So it's one of your guides sending you healing energy. 33, my grandson lost his mother when he was 6 years old. He recently lost his grandpa due to COVID. He wants to know how people in heaven communicate. He told me that heaven must be a big place, and he is concerned that his mother might not know that his grandpa is also there. No concerns there. We all come from very large extended spiritual families of like thousands of members, but everybody knows each other when you cross over, and you're even announced. When you cross over, you're announced to your larger spiritual family. So they're prepared for you when you're coming over. No problem finding individuals when you're over there, and aligning with your extended spiritual family and being able to navigate and move around heaven. 32, my service dog recently died. How will I know when he is ready to come back to me in a new body? All animals are from the angelic realm, and they come back to us very quickly, and you're going to know through 5 or 6 major attributes. So the way, either a sense of smell, the way the animal interacts with you, behaviors of the animal, the time and place where you see the animal. There'll be many indicating factors that will tip you off to the fact that your service dog has come back to you. So congratulations, all animals. They actually seek you out. They teach us lessons when we're here. They're from the angelic realm. They speed back to us when it's necessary. So you have no problem corroborating that the service animals come back to you. 31. I understand people can create portals. I'm curious how to prevent creating a portal. I was told to be mindful of my energy, but what does that mean? Well, no, people do not create portals. There are many significant portals that exist here on Earth and in many areas in the universe, and galaxies. They all serve to speed up time and space. There are some very significant portals like the one on Skinwalker Ranch. So individuals don't create portals, but they can certainly interact with them, and if they're not careful. So hopefully that helps. 30, who are the entities that have surrounded my child since he was born? He saw them frequently in the house until he was about 9 or 10. And then he said they were talking to him in Latin, or what he perceived as Latin. I also asked him how he knew he knew Latin was, and he said he just knew. Can you tell me who surrounds him? Well, these are his birth angels. And, I frequently, when I talk with angels, it's interesting, they all have Latin-derived names. For some reason, that's the way it got laid out. But so the fact that your son is communicating with these angels, and he knows that they're speaking in Latin and they have Latin-derived names, nice confirmation that he really is communicating. So not to be afraid, but many children, and I think you said that your son or child was 9 or 10, frequently in the house was 9 or 10. Very frequently for children to have the pure gift and maintain the pure gift of psychic mediumship during childhood. So these are angels. 29. I just watched an ancient alien show. I'm wondering if any abductees have ever reported being healed during their abduction by ETs. Yes, frequently ETs will create healing energy when you're abducted. So many ETs, these are benevolent entities, and they're actually here to help. Many times if there's something critical they can help you with, they will provide healing energy. 28, I've been visiting my daughter's house built in 1890 for many years. I sleep in what was once the attic space where the servants slept. Each time I sleep there, I have very frightening visitations from male energies, recently even growling dogs. I am told that this is just a nightmare, although it seems very real. What is going on? How can I make this stop and get a restful sleep? Well, ask the spirits, the individuals that are coming around the house, ask them to respect your space and ask them to move on into the light. And you can even burn a little sage. Sage can release the heaviness. There's nobody stuck there, but these spirits are coming around because they're attracted to the environment. So ask them outright to respect your space, ask them to move back in the light, and most all spirits will respect that. 27. Hi, Sterling. Do you see Trump being indicted and found guilty of insurrection charges? Will he go to prison or will he flee the country? Well, this has come up several times. I do see him eventually being indicted. I don't see him serving any prison term. I do see him fleeing to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, where eventually at that point where he does pass away, he actually dies when he flees to the Middle East. That is actually the end location where he'll pass away. So don't see him serving any prison time, but I do see indictments coming, and certainly many having to do with the January 6th insurrection. 26. I've been through several miscarriages. I'd like to ask if it was always the same soul that tried to incarnate, or were they different souls? These were all different souls, not always the case. But remember, every soul, every spirit, every life, even here on Earth, is here down on a life path blueprint to learn lessons. And so each one of these individual souls was coming out of your direct extended spiritual family, and each one wanted to learn or experience that lesson of partially coming down and then going back right away to your immediate family. So these were different souls that were trying to incarnate during those miscarriages. 25. Recently, a lady named Ophelia Nichols, also known as the TikTok Mama, youngest son, Randon Lee, was shot and killed at a gas station a day before his 19th birthday. Will they find out who did this, and will they be prosecuted? Yes, I'm being told there's massive amounts of surveillance video available, not just from the gas station, but the surrounding area. And I believe that law enforcement already has these videos, and there will be a very fast and swift arrest and prosecution of these individuals. Looks like a drug deal gone bad to me is what looks like happening here. 24. There's a book, Secret Journey to Planet Serpo, a true story of interplanetary travel by Len Kasten. It's a fascinating read. I believe it occurred. How 12 American military-trained astronauts traveled to the planet Serpo and lived there for 13 years. Can you and your guides verify this is indeed true? Well, I'm being told it's not an accurate description of what's being called an alien-human exchange program. So it looks like a lot of ETs or aliens or extraterrestrials visit Earth at that time. I don't see that as being an astronaut exchange program, but I do see a lot of the information that came out did in fact make its way into Hollywood, like movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So kind of a partially true story, but I don't see human astronauts in an exchange program with that, no. 23, am I right in assuming that our alien friends don't use a currency-based system in their societies? And if not, what type of a system do they use? Well, they do use a digital currency system, not that different than some of the cryptocurrency that's being used. So they do exchange value, things for, fuel rods to power spaceships and other types of value exchanges, but they use a digital cryptocurrency exchange. They do. Okay, 22 in our countdown. My cousin has had long COVID for over a year, is unable to work and struggles with daily living. Before his illness, he was very social and spent most of his time out in the world. Now he only lives home for doctor visits or to pick up medication. What is the outcome for long haulers? When will they regain their ability to be productive members of society? Well, I see 2 new drugs being released towards the middle to end of next year, 2023. One will be a vaccine, one will be a pill. Looks like they're in development testing right now in Europe and Japan, but 2 new drugs coming to help long haulers. So you can look for this starting the middle of next year as we get out towards the end of next year, widespread availability, and these medications will help long haulers. 21, the head of the Federal Communications Commission has asked both Apple and Google to remove TikTok apps from its online stores, citing it as a national security risk. It is reported that China is harvesting user data. Is China harvesting data, and will the app be removed? Absolutely, China is harvesting user data from these apps. Absolutely 100% confirmed for entertainment purposes only. I do see the app being removed starting the end of this year and as we get out into next year. So it looks like it will gradually be removed from the app stores in both Apple and Google. And I see more federal information coming out regarding TikTok and the way that information is harvested, user data, yes. 20. Some years ago, I was very sick with the flu. While sleeping it off, I had a dream. In the dream, a UFO was hovering above my head. The UFO shot down a beam of light inches away from where I was standing. From the area the light hit, a rose bush started to grow rapidly and even bloom roses. Suddenly, I woke from the dream to see 4 aliens standing around my bed, but disappeared in a blink of an eye. What was this? And do they have technology like that described in my dream? Yes, I mean, this is an energy beam that accelerates metabolic activity. So in some ways it could be used for healing, but accelerates cell activity, metabolic activity. And that's the reason your dream, you saw the rose bush, I think it was rose bush, grow dramatically. So yes, you're actually seeing a demonstration of a beam of light that's used for healing energy. 19. The Supreme Court has decided they would like to take up the case of Moore versus Harper in the fall around October. This would give state legislatures complete control of elections and the ability to overturn the results if they choose. What is the outcome of this vital case for democracy? Well, this is, unfortunately, this is part of that flip and a flop. I do see the Supreme Court. It looks to me like they narrowly try to give the states back the authority to overturn elections or election results. It does not look like they successfully are able to do it. So this case, Moore versus Harper, I just see the outcome as not allowing the states to overturn elections. Looks like it narrowly they try to make it happen, but doesn't happen. 18. Hello, Sterling. By the way, my guides are talking to me again about this. This is really going to be a fight to the death because the Supreme Court is definitely going to try to turn it back over to the states. So, but it looks like it's not going to affect the midterm elections. And then with the Supreme Court realignment happening in 12 to 18 months, the Supreme Court will not allow the states to overturn elections. So hopefully that's helpful. This is going to be a very nasty fight with the Supreme Court. Even my guides are really getting involved in very large numbers here to talk about it, but it's going to be a nasty fight down to the wire. Hello, Sterling. This is number 18. I had a strange experience in the early hours of today. I had just gone to bed and was just about to go to sleep when I opened my eyes and saw what looked like the air shimmering and moving like a small whirlwind in the corner of the room. I closed my eyes and opened them again, and it was still there. Then it slowly moved upwards till it disappeared through the ceiling. What was I seeing? This was a family member coming to you to say hello and to greet you, letting you know that they're around. 17. Hi, Sterling. I am curious if and I'm going to spell this Quetzalcoatl. It looks like Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec feathered serpent god, was an extraterrestrial. Also, are there extraterrestrials that live beneath the ground on Earth? Well, no, not an ET. This god, this Aztec feathered serpent god, was not an ET, but this is a mythical creation by people that lived around that time, because it looked like they assigned a lot of abilities to the serpent god to change earth, air, water. So this is a mythical creation by individuals living around that time. 16. The NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg has received a lot of threats towards himself and his family from Russian Killnet. Today, there's a major hacker attack in Norway from this group called Killnet. Is Stoltenberg and his family safe? Yes, they'll be completely safe. I see a lot of extra security being mounted around this individual and their family. And these are essentially threats against NATO. That's why this is happening. 15. Edgar Cayce was a sleeping prophet, and he always said that parts of Atlantis would rise out of the ocean. Will we ever see parts of Atlantis like Edgar Cayce predicted? Well, we will. Atlantis, within a few short years here, will be completely discovered. So it's not going to rise out of the ocean. So figuratively speaking, it'll be discovered. So it's deep under the ocean, but figuratively speaking, it gets discovered. So it's kind of like rising, or its presence rising out of the ocean. So it's not literal from what Edgar Cayce said. 14. Was there foul play in the death of the Senate Sergeant of Arms? I don't see foul play, but I see a massive cardiac event for this individual due to a lot of stress around January 6th. So whether there's a resignation and something, unfortunately, the individual suffered a major cardiac event. Does not appear to, my team's not saying it was foul play. 13, As there are many light workers on this planet, are we considered part of the Galactic Federation? If we are, do we unknowingly work with other extraterrestrial groups of light when we send divine healing energy? Well, light workers are not directly part of the, I think it said Galactic Federation. Light workers, when you pass over, you do work with the Galactic Federation, and you can certainly channel a lot of their healing energy, but not directly members of the Galactic Federation. 12. Is there a feline-like, possibly humanoid alien species? And if so, will the cat lovers of Earth get to meet them? No such alien ET species that are feline, but I can appreciate what a lot of cat lovers would want that. And by the way, I love cats and dogs and all animals, so I would welcome that as well, but my team's telling me no such ET species. 11 in the countdown. Just read this and I'm wondering if the white peacock really was John Lennon joining the lads for the photos. A 1995 photo after recording Free as a Bird and Real Love, the Beatles went outside the studio to take a photo. At the last minute, a rare white peacock entered the snapshot off to the side. Paul suddenly felt that the white peacock was John's spirit making itself known once again. John wasn't going to miss out on the photo shoot after Paul. Paul said, "That's John. Spooky, eh?" It was like John was hanging around with us. We felt that all through the recording. Was this John's spirit? Yes, absolutely. This was John's spirit interacting with the white peacock and kind of influencing the white peacock to get in the shot to allow his presence to be known. Absolutely. And strong energies from the other side are fully capable of doing this. 10 in the countdown. Will Nancy Pelosi remain as Speaker of the House after the 2022 midterms? Yes, I believe she'll remain Speaker of the House. She'll keep up a very diligent effort. 9. My 8 or 9-year-old niece insisted to be taken to the cemetery. She told her family that her great-grandmother and granduncle, my dad, took her a toy. After insisting to visit the cemetery, her family gave in to please her wish. After insisting to the cemetery, her family gave in to please her wish and took her. As she arrived at the cemetery, she shouted out, "I'm here. I don't like to be frightened, and please don't bother me anymore." My question is, was she really visited by her great-grandma and my dad, and why? Well, she's absolutely visited by your family members, your dad and his great-grandmother. They actually want to let her know they're around. So again, typical that children are very sensitive and they maintain good psychic mediumship ability in childhood. So absolutely, these are your relatives communicating with her. Very interesting story. Yeah. 8. Can you tell us what caused the deaths of 21 youths who inexplicably dropped dead at a tavern in South Africa's city of East London last weekend? There are no obvious signs of physical trauma. So this is being caused by a gas leak, some sort of a deadly gas leak, and could in fact be related to carbon monoxide. So very, very unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. But I do believe authorities will in fact pinpoint the cause, and it looks like it's a gas leak. 7 in our countdown. How can we tell the difference between messages from our higher self and messages from our guides? Does it feel different, or the topics are different? Well, no, first, your higher self is you. Your higher self is your core spirit, your core spiritual energy. So it's you. Now, whenever you receive information from your guides and angels, I always say it's trust through validation. So as you can validate the information you receive, then you know it's not your ego talking. So for example, if they tell you to communicate or call someone and you call that individual and they say, "Hey, I was just going to call you, incredible thing came up for you." Well, that's your guides and angels communicating with you. It's not your ego. But your higher self, your soul, does connect. That's you. You do connect with your angels and guides. So hopefully that dispels any confusion around this topic. It does come up quite often. 6, is she the last known wild Native American member of the Yahi people from present-day California have any messages for our nation at this time? He wants you to know that there is no death in life. Life goes on, and everything that the forefathers that he created for the nation are still with all of us and with you, and to move forward in peace and love. Respect his journey, respect your journey, and move forward in peace and love, and take all the wealth and abundance of information he laid out and move forward with it. Wow, very, very strong individual. I'm not familiar with this individual, but that was a very strong message. Move forward in peace and love with everything that he helped create. 5, the Senate race in Utah for the U.S. Senate. Well, disregarding the Senate race in Utah. We have independent Evan McMullen going up against Mike Lee. Will Evan win? Evan is the Utah Democratic Party pick. I believe the Democrat or the independent here, Evan McMullen, will win in a very tight race. It'll even be contested a bit, but in the end, Evan McMullen will win. 4, I'd like to ask why something like this would happen to someone. In 3 years, I've lost both parents, my beloved dog. My sister was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic, sorry about that, breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer. My marriage broke up. I've had 7 unexpected surgeries. Some didn't go well. I feel stuck and off balance. Has this all happened for a reason? Well, we all place things on our unique life path blueprint. So you, as well as all your family members, sister, we all place these things. All of our life paths intersect. I can tell you that whoever asked this question, when I see these number of life events, these all suggest to me that we're all on the planet on 7 and 10-year life cycles. So it looks to me like you're coming through a completion of a major life cycle for you. You could, in fact, be on a 10-year life cycle. But everything you learned and everything your family members learned through this life cycle will be carried forward to help others. So none of this is ever done just for the cruelty of the situation. It's done, these represent major traumas in life, and all traumas are the most significant life lessons we learn. And then we take those life lessons and then we help others to move forward. So I hope that's helpful. These are all part of everyone's life path blueprint lessons, yours, and all the life path lessons of the individuals that you're interfacing with. 3 in the countdown. In December, I was laying on the sofa at my grandma's house and a figure in white stood over me. I tried to scream help, but I couldn't speak and move. As the figure leaned closer, I heard a loud tinnitus type sound and pressure on my chest. I prayed in the figure, sound and pressure went away. What did I experience? Well, this is one of your birth angels making sure they knew that you knew that they were around. Looks like this is you're going through a situation that may have been critical at that time and needed some sort of a confirmation that they were around and with you. So boy, did they confirm for you. There's no denying the fact that they were around. And I do see angels do this, everyone, birth angels. When people are in need of some sort of a confirmation, difficulty in their life, they'll get kind of a massive confirmation. It's like, well, we're around, you can tell. So I say congratulations on that experience. Number 2 in the countdown. Do you see anything coming up this week? Well, I see many more Supreme Court reviews coming up for all the things that are going to be challenged. A lot of things coming out in the press. I see many more confidants, internal White House individuals coming forward to corroborate information on Hutchinson's testimony. I see good progress, tremendous progress on what I'm going to call advanced weapons furnished to Ukraine to help them control the skies. And I do see many more good things coming out regarding gun control. So still gun control moving forward here, gun safety legislation through Congress. I know we saw a big legislation was passed last week, but for some reason I see much more movement still moving through Congress to tighten up some of the controls. So, and this is all forecast by the survivors or the spirits that moved on from the Uvalde school shooting. I remember all this coming through weeks ago that they claimed that we'd see good legislation moving through. So a continuation of that moving on. And last but not least, I do see more information coming out on the major health problems regarding Putin. So good things moving forward in terms of how we're going to start to come to a conclusion in Ukraine and the war going on there. The fact that Putin will eventually be moved aside with health reasons, and the other reasons are going to help the world. So hopefully that's helpful. I see all these things coming up next week. And last but not least, number one, do you have anything your guides want to share? Yes, for all of us, tell us what you need, what you require, and we will furnish it immediately. So ask and you shall receive. Stay in the faith, manifest clearly the perfect outcome for all of us in the universe. Ask and you will receive. So on that note, we're going to conclude the show, record today for Sunday, July 3rd, 2022. Again, if you need to reach me, sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the Book a Session tab. I'm going to send everybody tremendous amount of goodwill and love to you and your families. Take care. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.